You are born in 12th century Arabia inside the women's quarters of a powerful Arab warlord's household. The room is filled with family midwives, and after the pain of childbirth, they place you in your mother's arms. She is young, exhausted, and barely able to hold herself up, but when she sees you, tears of relief and joy run down her face. For a brief moment, you are simply her child. Your father is not there. He is away fighting under Saladin against the Crusaders near Ars, where men are dying in large numbers and survival itself is uncertain. In your first months of life, none of that matters to you. Your world is small and simple. You cry, you feed, you sleep, and you are held close by your mother, who whispers that one day you will grow into a beautiful woman. You do not understand her words, but her voice feels safe, and that safety is the only thing you know. One day, while you are sleeping, the entire household suddenly erupts with sound. Drums pound, horns blare, voices sing, and the noise terrifies you awake. To an infant, it sounds like the end of the world, and you begin crying immediately. But to everyone around you, it is a celebration. Your father has returned alive from war when many others did not. That night, after the feast and the noise have faded, your father summons your mother and tells her something that will shape the rest of your life. You have been betrothed, not when you are older, not when you can understand what marriage is, but now, while you are still a baby in your mother's arms. Your mother is shocked, but your father explains that during the battle at Ars, another warrior saved his life. This man dragged him out of certain death, protected him, and paid for that act with his own blood. A debt like that, your father says, cannot be repaid with gold or horses. It must be repaid with something permanent. And so, that something becomes you. You are not chosen because you are loved more, or because you are special, or because anyone sees a future in you. You are chosen because you are the youngest, the newest, and the easiest to give away. Among elite families, daughters are not treated as children first. They are political tools, alliances waiting to happen, and debts waiting to be settled. No one asks what you want because no one believes it matters. Before you can speak, your life already belongs to someone else. Years of your life, you grow up inside walls designed to preserve family honor, not to protect children. The women's quarters become your entire world. Curtains, enclosed courtyards, whispers, rivalries, and invisible rules surround you from the beginning. You are told you have a husband in the same casual way other children are told their own name. It is presented as a simple fact, something permanent and unquestionable, like the ground beneath your feet. As you grow older, you begin to learn what that actually means. When you fall while playing and scrape your skin, the adults do not rush to comfort you because you are hurt. Instead, they scold you because you are marked. They warn that your future husband will not want damaged goods. In that moment, even as a child, you start learning one of the most important lessons of your life. Your pain matters less than your appearance, and your body is already being judged for the use someone else will one day make of it. As the years pass, the difference between boys and girls becomes impossible to ignore. Every morning, your brothers leave the house carrying slates under their arms, heading to the madrasa where they will learn letters, scripture, law, and the knowledge that shapes the world outside. You stay behind. Your lessons are not about ideas, but about obedience. You are taught how to carry water without spilling, how to sit correctly, how to lower your eyes, how to dress yourself properly, how to wear the burqa, how to move quietly, and how to behave in the presence of men. Your education is not meant to expand your mind. It is meant to discipline your body. At first, you wonder why the boys are allowed futures while the girls are trained for submission, but whenever you ask, the answer is always the same. This is how it has always been. Eventually, you stop asking. Curiosity becomes exhausting when every answer leads back to the same wall. By the time you turn 7, the betrothal that once sounded abstract becomes frighteningly real. On your 7th birthday, you are summoned to the majlis, the room where the household's serious decisions are made. It is the first time you truly meet your father as more than a distant authority. He smells of leather, dust, sweat, and command. The room is filled with men, and the atmosphere is heavy with importance. You are bathed, dressed, positioned, and presented like something delicate and valuable. Then your father asks if you know about your betrothal. When you say yes, he asks you the question everyone expects to hear. Do you accept this marriage? In theory, your answer matters. In elite households, a girl is supposed to consent before the marriage is finalized. But no one explains refusal because refusal is not a real option. You look around the room and read the truth in the faces around you. Your mother's eyes tell you to stay still. The men wait. You understand, even as a child, that saying no would not simply disappoint anyone. It would humiliate your father, insult the man you are promised to, and shame the entire household. In a world built on honor, that kind of shame can be fatal. Whether by poison, violence, or an honor killing, carried out by a male relative eager to prove loyalty to family pride, the outcome is clear. So you say yes. Not because you understand marriage, not because you desire it, but because yes is the only word that has ever kept you safe. The room relaxes immediately. People smile. Food is served. Music begins. You are congratulated as if something wonderful has happened. Women kiss your forehead and call you lucky, chosen, blessed. Yet behind those blessings come quiet warnings about the household you will one day enter, about the other women there, about how quickly girls like you disappear into lives they did not choose. On that day, you learn a lesson that will follow you forever. Sometimes, consent is just a performance adults use to make cruelty look respectable. After the celebration, your mother begins teaching you what being a wife truly means. She does not speak of love or companionship. She speaks of survival. At night, when the others are distracted, she tells you about the harem you will one day enter. She explains that it is not a peaceful home but a battlefield without swords, a place where cruelty is subtle, patient, and often delivered by other women. She tells you how, when she first arrived in this household, she was bullied, humiliated, and sometimes beaten. Then she explains the hierarchy you will be forced into. At the top is the mother-in-law, the unquestioned authority of the women's world. Beneath her are your husband's unmarried sisters. Then come the legal wives, the hurrah, the rank you are supposed to hold. Below them are concubines, entertainers, and servants, each with their own role, resentments, and ambitions. Your mother makes one thing very clear: senior wives command, younger wives obey, concubines look for any chance to climb, and your mother-in-law sees everything. You begin to understand that marriage will not rescue you. It will simply move you into a new cage. As you get older, the women around you stop pretending not to notice your body. They comment on it openly as it changes, as if you are not standing there. Too thin, too soft, pretty enough to invite jealousy, weak enough to break. They speculate about how long you will last in your husband's household and whether you will be crushed quickly or slowly. Some of them sound amused. Others sound grateful it is not their daughter. At first, you still imagine escape, but eventually even that thought begins to fade. Instead, you start thinking like someone preparing for a siege. You rehearse silence. You practice smiling when embarrassed. You train yourself not to react when insulted. You convince yourself that if you are perfect enough, quiet enough, obedient enough, maybe you can avoid the worst. But your body has its own timetable, and it begins changing before you are ready. By the time you are 9, the changes are impossible to ignore. Your chest begins to develop, your shape starts shifting, and the adults around you react immediately. Your mother adds more layers to your clothing, adjusts how you dress, and begins speaking to you in a different tone. You are no longer treated like a child who still plays. You are treated like a body that must now be controlled. You are told that your early development is dangerous, that it is a blessing for your future husband and a liability for everyone else. Your movements are watched more closely than ever. How you sit, how you stand, how loudly you laugh, how long you look at anyone, everything is corrected. You are taught how to lower your gaze, how to make yourself smaller, how to move in ways that draw as little attention as possible, even though your changing body guarantees attention anyway. Your mother starts preparing you for marriage more directly now. She speaks in terms of duty, expectation, endurance, and what will be required of you. She does not soften any of it, not because she is cruel, but because no one softened it for her. She believes that knowledge might protect you, even if it feels more like a countdown to something you dread. Meanwhile, your brothers still leave every morning for the madrasa, their futures stretching wider with each lesson. You stay behind, learning how to cook, how to serve, how to obey, and how to endure. Sometimes, briefly, you wonder what your life might have been if you had been born a boy, or if your body had simply waited longer to change. Could you have been a scholar? Could you have ridden to war? Could you have been allowed to become something other than useful? But those thoughts feel dangerous, so you bury them. In your world, your body speaks louder than your voice ever will. A few months after your 10th birthday, your first blood comes. When you see the stain, you do not fully understand what it means, but the women do. There is no comfort, no concern, no time for explanation. The blood is interpreted for you immediately. By that night, messages are already moving between households. By morning, your childhood is officially over. The marriage that has been waiting in the shadows for years now becomes urgent. It happens quickly, efficiently, like an obligation everyone has been waiting to complete. There is music, food, congratulations, and ceremony. Women bless you without meeting your eyes. Men smile with the satisfaction of business being completed. The mar is arranged, gold, cloth, promises. But even this is less a gift to you than a final balancing of an old debt between men. Your father still insists on settling what he owes. On the day you are handed over, you meet your husband properly for the first time. He is older than your father. He smells of sweat, leather, smoke, and authority. When he looks at you, it is not with tenderness or curiosity. It is the look of a man inspecting something that now belongs to him. Before the night fully falls, the midwives examine you. Their hands are experienced, detached, almost bored. They talk about your body as if you are not in the room. In that moment, you understand that your body is no longer yours even in theory. It has become proof, evidence, a thing expected to demonstrate purity and compliance. When the lamps are dimmed, you are led to your husband's chamber. The room feels too large, the bed too high, the air too heavy. You stand at the threshold unsure of where to look, where to place your hands, or how to breathe. No one stays with you. No one explains what is about to happen. Your husband gestures for you to come closer, and the moment you do, he grabs you. Your body reacts before your mind can. Pain arrives instantly, sharp, shocking, impossible to understand. You have been warned in vague terms, but no warning prepares you for the reality. You freeze. A small sound escapes you, helpless and involuntary, swallowed by the room. He does not stop. He does not ask. Your fear and pain are not obstacles to him. They are simply irrelevant. He continues as though your discomfort is something to be overcome. When it is over, he praises you, not for courage, not for surviving, but for being obedient, for not causing trouble, for complying. You are left alone afterward with a body that feels unfamiliar and wounded. You curl into yourself instinctively, as if somehow you can become smaller again. Sleep does not really come. It breaks into fragments, and every time you drift, your body tenses as if expecting it to happen all over again. Outside the room, the blood you leave behind is treated like an announcement. The household relaxes. Approval spreads. You are now officially a wife. And then, the next night, it happens again. By the end of that first month, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Your pain is not a mistake, and it is not misunderstood. It simply does not matter. Soon after, you are taken into the women's quarters of your husband's household, where your mother-in-law receives you not with warmth but with calculation. She stays seated while you stand, her eyes moving over you as if weighing the value of an animal. This is not a welcome. It is an inspection. She explains the rules of the harem as though she is reciting the laws of nature. In your first days there, you are woken before dawn to clean floors that are already clean. You are given tasks only to be criticized for how you complete them. If you do well, no one notices. If you make a mistake, whether real or invented, it is remembered and repeated. The other women find entertainment in your discomfort. Laughter follows your humiliation. Tears only make things worse, so you learn quickly that silence is safer. You tell yourself this will pass, that if you are patient enough, careful enough, respectful enough, you will eventually be accepted. But the more you endure, the more they seem to take from you. Your youth becomes a source of resentment. Rumors about your fertility become a weapon. Your body is discussed constantly, judged openly, and used as a topic for mockery. By the end of your first year there, you understand the truth no one says directly. Marriage did not raise your status. It delivered you into another system designed to consume you. Your husband still summons you when he wants you, especially when he returns from war. Even if he ignores you for weeks, even if your body is sore and exhausted, you go when called. Refusal is unthinkable. The other wives watch each visit with sharp, suspicious eyes, because in a place like this, even temporary attention can become dangerous. Then, slowly, your body begins to change again. You feel sick in the mornings. Food turns against you. Smells make you nauseous. You vomit in hidden corners, behind pillars, into scraps of cloth you tuck away so no one will accuse you of weakness. Sleep does not restore you. Your chest aches. Your back throbs. You assume you are failing at something once again. But the women around you notice before you do. The midwives are called, not out of concern, but because your sickness has become inconvenient. They press on your belly, exchange looks, and then deliver the verdict. You are pregnant. At first, the news feels like hope. You have been told all your life that this is how a woman secures her place. A child means protection, a son means power. You want desperately to believe that all the pain has finally gained some purpose. But the harem does not celebrate. If anything, the atmosphere turns colder. The wives become crueler. The jokes become sharper. Your tasks do not become lighter. If anything, they become more punishing. Your mother-in-law watches you with even greater intensity, but offers little help, as if waiting to see whether your body will survive or fail. Your husband leaves for war again, never witnessing the reality of what pregnancy does to a body this young. You keep your bruises hidden. You hide the dizziness. You smile when required. You bow when expected. You never complain. And every day, you repeat the same belief to yourself, that if you endure long enough, if you survive this, you will finally matter. Time passes whether you are ready or not. One season slides into the next, and then one night, a deep pressure grips low in your belly. At first, it comes and goes. Then it returns harder. Then it does not really leave. The midwives are summoned with practiced calm because for them, this is routine. You are laid on your back. Your legs are forced apart. Cloth is shoved into your hands. They tell you to breathe. They tell you this is what you were made for. But the pain escalates faster than anything you imagined. It is not a clean wave of suffering. It is relentless, grinding, tearing, all-consuming. Your body strains against itself. Bones that are not fully grown are forced wider than they should ever be forced. You scream until your throat burns raw, and then you keep screaming until no sound comes out at all. Time loses all meaning. Hours stretch. More hours follow. You drift in and out of consciousness while voices blur around you. Hands push on you, pull at you, order you to try harder. One voice says you are too small. Another tells you to keep going. At some point, you feel warmth between your legs that is not the child, and the room shifts from routine to alarm. When the baby finally emerges, you barely hear the cry. It is thin, distant, brief. The child is taken from you immediately. You are not allowed to hold him. No one asks whether you want to. What follows is not celebration but quiet panic. The midwives press cloth against you, hard and fast. More blood comes. Far too much. Their voices drop into urgent whispers. Some begin praying instead of instructing. Someone calls your name as though it might pull you back into the room, but the room already feels far away. You understand only pieces of what is happening. Mostly, you feel tired. The pain that seemed endless begins to soften into something strangely distant. Your body becomes lighter, your thoughts become slower, and in those final moments, a terrible kind of peace settles over you. You think, with fading relief, that you did it. You carried the child. You delivered him. You were useful. You die believing you finally succeeded. By evening, your body is washed, wrapped, and buried. Your son is handed to another woman to nurse. By the next morning, a message has already been sent to your family. Your mother weeps where no one can see. The other wives shake their heads briefly, then turn their thoughts toward their own daughters. Your father receives the news, acknowledges it once, and returns to his responsibilities. Debts still exist. Alliances still need to be made. Other daughters remain. Your husband marries again. Life in the harem continues without interruption. Your absence leaves no true gap in the system because the system was built to replace girls like you. Your name fades almost immediately. There is no record of your fear, no account of your suffering, no monument to your endurance. Only the fact that you were born, used, and gone. And that is the cruelest part of all. To the people around you, this is not remembered as a tragedy. It is remembered as order. A machine functioning exactly as intended.